Mary Read was born in the late 17th century, a time when the world was rife with adventure, piracy, and the unyielding tides of the sea. Her story begins in a small English town where the whispers of the ocean mingled with the cries of seagulls and the scent of salt lingered in the air. Born to a modest family in 1685, her early life was marked by hardship. Her father, a sailor, died before she was born, leaving her mother to fend for herself and her newborn daughter. To make ends meet, her mother disguised Mary as a boy and presented her as her deceased brother to claim a portion of his inheritance. This early deception would set the stage for a life defined by identity, rebellion, and the pursuit of freedom. As a child, Mary was spirited and headstrong, traits that would later serve her well in the unforgiving world of piracy. She grew up learning the ropes of survival, both in the streets and in the homes of those who took her in. Her mother eventually remarried, and Mary found herself thrust into a world of step-siblings and domesticity that felt suffocating. The boy she had been raised as was no longer a mask she could wear. She was a girl, and the expectations of society began to weigh heavily on her. Her childhood was a tapestry woven with the threads of adventure and rebellion, and by the time she reached her teenage years, the restlessness within her had become too great to ignore. At the age of 13, Mary decided to leave home. She took to the streets, adopting a new persona that would become her ticket to freedom. She dressed as a boy, cutting her hair short and adopting the name Mark. This transformation allowed her to navigate the world more freely, escaping the constraints of gender and societal expectations. It was during this time that she began to experience life as a sailor, working on merchant ships and learning the ways of the sea. The salty air and the thrill of the waves became her companions, and she reveled in the camaraderie of her fellow sailors. However, the life of a sailor was not without its challenges. The dangers of the sea were matched only by the dangers that lurked in the hearts of men. Mary's path took a significant turn when she encountered a group of pirates. Drawn to their audacity and the promise of adventure, she found herself captivated by their lifestyle. The allure of the open sea, the thrill of treasure hunting, and the freedom from societal norms beckoned her. It was a world where she could truly be herself, unbound by the expectations of gender and class. She joined the crew of a pirate ship, adopting the name Mary once more, but this time as a declaration of her true identity. Her early days as a pirate were marked by a steep learning curve. She faced skepticism and hostility from some crew members who were unaccustomed to a woman aboard their ship. Yet Mary's fierce spirit and determination quickly earned her respect. She proved herself in battle, showcasing her skill with a pistol and her ability to navigate the treacherous waters of the Caribbean. Her reputation grew, and she became known as a formidable pirate, feared by those who sailed the seas. The turning point in Mary's life came when she crossed paths with another notorious pirate, Anne Bonny. Their meeting was electric, a collision of two fierce spirits drawn together by their shared defiance of societal norms. Anne, a fiery woman with a reputation of her own, recognized Mary's strength and determination. The two women quickly formed a bond, united by their love of adventure and their desire to break free from the constraints of their pasts. Together, they became a force to be reckoned with, sailing the seas and raiding ships with a ferocity that left their enemies trembling. Mary and Anne's partnership was not just one of camaraderie. It was a profound connection that transcended the boundaries of friendship. Their relationship was a celebration of their shared defiance, a rebellion against the roles that society had thrust upon them. They reveled in their freedom, embracing the thrill of piracy and the exhilaration of living life on their own terms. Their escapades became legendary, tales of their daring exploits spreading like wildfire among sailors and townsfolk alike. However, the life of a pirate was fraught with danger. The law was ever present, and the authorities sought to bring them to justice. In 1720, their luck ran out when they were captured by a British naval ship. The trial that followed was a spectacle, drawing attention from all corners of society. Mary and Anne stood before the court, their fates hanging in the balance. They were charged with piracy, a crime punishable by death. Yet even in the face of such dire circumstances, they maintained their defiance. Mary, ever the cunning strategist, claimed that she was pregnant. a ruse that would buy her time and perhaps even save her life. The trial revealed the stark contrast between the lives of the women and the expectations of society. They were not just criminals, they were symbols of rebellion, challenging the norms that dictated how women should behave. Their story resonated with many, and the courtroom became a battleground for ideas about gender, freedom, and the nature of justice. The public's fascination with their lives only grew, and the narrative of Mary Read and Anne Bonny became entwined with the mythology of piracy. Ultimately, the court was lenient, and while Anne was sentenced to hang, Mary's claim of pregnancy spared her life. However, the truth was far more complex. Mary was not pregnant, and the ruse was merely a means of survival. The authorities were left perplexed by the women's defiance and the challenges they posed to the established order. In the eyes of society, they were outlaws, yet they had become symbols of freedom and rebellion, embodying the spirit of a time when the world was changing, and the boundaries of gender and identity were being tested. After the trial, Mary's fate became shrouded in mystery. Some accounts suggest that she was imprisoned, while others claim she returned to piracy, continuing her life on the high seas. The truth remains elusive, lost to the annals of history. What is certain is that Mary Read's legacy endured long after her death. She became a figure of fascination, a symbol of the untamed spirit of women who dared to defy societal norms. Mary's life was a tapestry woven with threads of adventure, rebellion, and defiance. From her humble beginnings to her rise as a notorious pirate, she challenged the expectations of her time and forged her own path. Her story resonates with those who seek freedom and adventure, a reminder that the tides of history are shaped by those who dare to break the mold. In the years that followed, the legend of Mary Read continued to grow. Tales of her exploits, her fierce spirit, and her bond with Anne Bonny became part of the folklore of piracy. She was celebrated in ballads and stories, a symbol of the fierce independence that characterized the age of piracy. Her life became a testament to the idea that one could carve out their own destiny, regardless of the constraints imposed by society. As the world moved forward, the legacy of Mary Read inspired generations of women who sought to challenge the norms of their time. Her story became a beacon of hope for those who felt confined by the expectations of gender and class. She represented the idea that one could be both fierce and feminine, a warrior and a woman, navigating the complexities of identity in a world that often sought to limit them. In the end, Mary Read's life was not just about piracy. It was about the pursuit of freedom, the courage to defy societal norms, and the unwavering spirit of a woman who refused to be bound by the expectations of her time. Her story is a reminder that the tides of history are shaped by those who dare to sail against the current, forging their own paths in a world that often seeks to hold them back. Mary Read's legacy lives on, a testament to the power of self-discovery and the enduring spirit of rebellion.